Everybody, just want to make sure, can everybody see the screen and hear me? If somebody could just type in and let me know. Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Let's just give people one more minute and we'll get this party started. All right. Thanks everybody for joining me. Hopefully this will be valuable to you all. I've got a different title than you probably saw. I have Trade Like a Pro here. I don't really like to say that. It's kind of cheesy, but it's just, basically encapsulates everything. It's kind of where we all want to get to. Here's the part that I want to stress. This is basically what I'm going to be doing the next few seminars, webinars over the next few months will all be about this. You don't know what you don't know. What I mean by that is when you start trading or if you start doing anything, right, you kind of get out there, you learn what's available. But if somebody doesn't expose you to certain things, you're not even going to know they exist, right? I mean, unless somebody points you to different things, whatever it may be, like a function in Excel, you might learn, like you didn't know it was there. Somebody says, "Hey, look, it can do this." Oh, it can? Because you don't know what you don't know, right? Nobody kind of, you don't know everything. And that's kind of the main purpose of these few webinars over the next few months is kind of to expose you all to what's available out there as far as option trading strategies. Because not that you'll ever use these strategies, you don't necessarily have to use them, but it's good to know they exist. If it's something you want to look forward to get to one day, absolutely, you have to even know it's there to shoot for it. So let's get going. I always like to start here, which is who am I? Not to brag, just to show you like I'm just a regular guy that learned how to do this on my own. I was a rising star in something called Tasty Trade, which is the largest online financial network in the world in 2013. I've been teaching since 2016. I trade every day. This is what I do. I have a full-time job, so this is not something you need to have as a full-time gig. It's something you can do on the side. I spend probably 15 minutes a day trading and create a whole nother income stream doing this. I'm a strategy and probability based trader. I don't use technicals or fundamentals, but you absolutely can if you want to. And I'm part of the Udemy and Sharper Trades community with over 100,000 strong. If you ever want to reach me with questions, I'm always happy to answer them. You can always reach me here at cal@optiontradingforrookies.com. One more final check, just because I've had this happen so many times. Can everybody still see and hear me? And then I'll just kind of go from there. Awesome. Thanks, Tony. Perfect. So let's get going. The way I like to teach things is I like to use the analogy of driving a car. So this is a car, but do you need to know all of this stuff in order to be able to drive a car? Absolutely not. So this is me. This is the thousands of hours I've spent learning. This is the thousands of hours I've spent trading. But I took all this knowledge and what I did is encapsulate it all to teach you all how to drive the car. So you don't have to learn all that stuff if you don't want to. If you want to, absolutely go for it. But if you want to get the shortcut on taking what is available and using it right now to make money, that's kind of the way I teach. So, what you can expect today, I'll stay around at the end to answer any questions you may have. And if you forget some or want some later, again, you can email me. I'll also talk about the Sharper Trades community. There's not going to be a big sales pitch for thousands of dollars, but I encourage you to hang around till the end because I'm doing a last chance deal. There's something I'm going to be offering today that I will never offer again. Mainly because just like everything else in the world, things have gotten expensive and I can't afford to offer this deal moving forward. So good thing you're here. This is a good time to jump on that. All my courses and services are designed to be affordable in time and money, meaning it's all designed to be shortcuts back to driving the car. You don't need to spend thousands of hours and thousands of dollars. This is all meant to kind of get you there as quickly and easily and confidently as possible. I use this a lot. This is a quote I saw a few months back on the Shark Tank. In order to get ahead in life, you have to show up, you are here, so you've done that step. And again, you picked a good day for it because I'm going to be offering up stuff that I won't offer again in the future ever again. So, what are we here to do? Again, you don't know what you don't know. I'm here to open your eyes to the possibilities. So let's get to a trade page because I believe that's the best way to show you all this stuff is real trading platforms, real trades. I'm going to be using a couple of different platforms today. Not important. Don't worry about the ones I'm using. I'm using them because they illustrate my points the best. So I'll be bouncing around just to point out certain points with different platforms. So let's go right here. So we're going to start with the basics. And the basics, and I've done this in the past, but we're going to go one step further today. So what I want to show is when people get started in trading, the first thing they know about or learn about is buying calls and puts. If I think a stock is going up, I'm going to buy a call. So what we're going to do here is we're going to buy a call. Now, just to be aware of where we're at, this is the QQQ. This is an ETF, which means exchange traded fund. All that means is it's one stock that has about 800 stocks sunk into it. So you can do the same thing with S&P 500 where there's SPY, which is 500 stocks in one, which means it just kind of buys all of them and it tracks them all as one big almost index. So this is the NASDAQ ETF called QQQ. It's one of the most liquid stocks in the world. The market is open right now. This is current. And you can see right here, the price of it is 633. So let's go with the basics, which is if I was just brand new to trading, I didn't know anything, and I thought the stock was going up from here, I would buy a call. So right here, you see it says long call. That's what I'm buying. I'm buying a call. And not to get stuck in the weeds, but the most efficient way, if you're going to ever buy calls, is the best bang for your buck is to buy the call directly below the strike price. So you can see right here, this is at 633.79. I'm buying the call directly below the stock price at 633. Don't worry about the details. That's just best case scenario for best bang for your buck. You're getting the most potential for the least expense up front. So I want to go through exactly what this looks like because we're going to compare it to a couple of other strategies moving forwards. So number one, when we buy this call, you can see it says 1917. This is going to be moving around. I've just locked it. So we'll just say at 1915 to make it nice and easy. So if I was going to buy this call, right now it would cost me 1915. And everything on a trade page is times 100. So when I'm buying this for 1915, what that actually means is I'm buying this for $1,915, which means the most I can lose is $1,915. When you buy options, as the general rule, whatever I pay for it is the most I can lose. So when I buy this call for 1915 times 100, $1,915 is the most I can possibly lose. So what can I make? Well, if you see right here is max profit, it says infinity. Obviously, it's not infinity. All that means is we don't know how much you can make because we're betting the stock is going up. We have no idea what it's going to go to. It could go to 10,000, it could go up $1. So all that infinity means is we don't know where it's going because we don't know what the max profit you can make is. And the reason anybody makes this trade is just because of that, is because people think, okay, look, I'm spending $1,900, but my profit potential is unlimited. Who knows what this thing can make, right? It could make a fortune. But if you look over here, and this is the thing I point out a lot on this platform, this is POP. And what that means is probability of profit. And what this is telling me is there is a 36% chance that at expiration, this trade is at least $1 profitable. $1. Meaning there's a 36% chance if I hang on to this to the finish line that I make $1 profit on this trade. Now remember, I'm paying over $1,900 for this trade. So I'm not looking to make $1, but this is just telling me up front that's the probability. If I hang on to this to the end, I have a 36% chance of making $1 profit. Doesn't seem very good. And I use this example a lot, which is slot machines in Vegas. If you were going to invest or trade, you're probably not going to look to invest your trade in slot machines. Well, slot machines are set at around 35 to 40% POP. So when you're buying call options, just remember in your head as a good illustration, you're playing this game, you're basically betting on a slot machine. And I don't think any of us would invest our money in slot machines, but nobody knows that. So again, good thing to realize if you're going to play the long call game, you better be right because there's only a 36% chance you're going to make some money. There's a slot machine kind of chance you're going to make some money. So again, you're paying a fixed amount of money to make this trade. You have an unlimited profit potential. You have a pretty low chance of success. So what I'm going to do here is show you why there's such a low chance of success. And that's why I'm going to switch to this other platform. So remember, we're looking at the 633 call, and there's 44 days left at the expiration. We're doing it at 9:15. So I'm going to the exact same stock, 633 call. We're going to buy right here. We're going to make it 9:15 like it was before. And the reason I'm using this platform is because I'm going to show you right here. So on this platform, what it shows me is break-even stock prices, which is telling me what does this stock have to go to before I basically don't make any money and don't lose any money. Break even means I don't make, I don't lose, I break even. I spend 19.15 on this trade. When all is said and done at expiration, I walk away with 19.15, so I don't make or lose money. So remember this number, 652.15. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go to the chart here. Oops, we'll get rid of this one. 652.15. So I'm going to just put this up here and I'm going to edit this 652.15. Okay. So why is our chance of success so small when I'm making this trade? Because look where the stock is now. We're at 634.14. It has to go all the way up here just to break even. Okay, that's pretty good amount. It's got to go up almost $20. It has to go up, in fact, $19.15 to break even. That's how you work out your break even price. You take your strike price and you add on what it costs you. We have the 633 strike. We're paying 19.15 for it. That gets us to 652.15 as the break even price. But just want to show you visually why it's such a low probability of success. It's got to go all the way up here to break even. You're only making money when you go above this. So that's the first illustration on long calls and why when we learn how to trade, we don't do them. That's also why most people lose money when they trade is because they don't know this stuff. They all buy calls or puts. Your chances are low. Your losses are fixed. And occasionally you win big and you think, hey, that's great. Well, occasionally you win big on a slot machine too, right? Doesn't mean you're going to keep playing slot machines the rest of your life to make a living. Well, that one big win occasionally kind of keeps people hooked and you slowly bleed away money over time. Drink of water and we move on. So the next stop from here is instead of buying calls, what I teach people is to sell put verticals. Same thing. This is basically saying I think the stock is going to go up from here, but it's a much more valuable way to go. So what we're going to do is we have rules when it comes to verticals. I'm going to go to the minimum. I'm looking for at least 33 cents per dollar width of strike. So you can see here 629 and 628 means it's a dollar wide. I'm selling the 629 put, buying the 628 put, and I'm going to collect. When I sell things, I collect money. And when I sell things, the exact opposite of buy things. When you buy things, the most I can lose is what I pay for it. When you sell things, the most I can make is what I sell for it. Most I can lose when I buy, most I can make when I sell. So if I sell this for 34 cents, remember everything's times 100, I can make $34. But the way we work out losses and profits on verticals is the difference in the width of the strikes, which is a dollar. Remember, everything's times 100. So if the most I can make is $34, then if you subtract that from 100, the most I can make is $66. And you can see that here. And that's why this will always work out the same. Max profit plus max loss on a vertical, no matter how wide, is going to equal the width of the strikes. And why would I do this? Why would I cap my profits? Well, look over here. We were at 36% a second ago. This is 55%. Okay. So we just went way up. We went way above even 50-50. Our chances of making money on this are 55% chance of making at least $1 profit at expiration. The other thing is, you can see this is much less risk, and we know the risk. We know the risk when it comes to buying options too, but you can see that was $1,900 to buy something with a very low chance of success. Here we're capping our losses. The most we can lose is 66. I understand the most we can make is 34. The reason again we do this is the trade-off, 55% POP. So let's take a look at this and see why that is. So this is the 629, 628 put vertical. We're going to say it's for 34 cents. So I'm going back here again. I can move this thing out of the way. I always get this thing in my way. There we go. So remember, it's the 629, 628 vertical, and it was 34 cents. So I'll lock it in here. And let's do this again. And let's go here. Break even stock prices, 628.66. So remember that number, okay? 628.66. So we're going to go back to the chart. We're going to go to 628.66. We'll edit this. 628.66. We'll make a different color so we can separate it out. Okay, so visually, why is this such a much better trade? Well, remember when we buy calls, we want it to go above this number. It's got to get to this number first, and it's only when we start making money above this. With verticals, when we sell them, all we have to do is stay above this number and we're profitable. So you can see we're already above this number. We're at 634.60. So anything above this yellow line above, we're profitable. And that's why you can see visually this is a much better chance of success. We're starting in a winning position. We're starting below. As long as it stays, if it does nothing but stay here for the next 44 days, we're a winner. Even if it goes down a few bucks, it can go down almost $6 and we still make money on this trade. And again, that's why the POP went up by so much. This was 36% a slot machine. Now we're getting into real probabilities, right? 55, 60-ish kind of probabilities, chance of success. Much better chances of success. So that's why the vertical works so much better than buying a call option. It's a lot less money at risk. You can make less, but you risk less, and your chance of success is so much higher. So now let's go back here. And now I want to show you the what you don't know, you don't know. You may not have known about verticals, but you may have also heard of things called naked options. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a short put. And what we're going to do is we're going to go for a much higher probability of success, and we're going to see what that looks like. So I'm not going to go to the 629. We're going to go way, I want you to look as I slide this over. Watch these numbers move as I slide this down. So you'll see everything kind of move along. So let's go for a 90% probability of success and see what that looks like. So that's about here. Let's see. So right about here. We'll round this up as well. So look at this. 579 put. The stock is at 634. So why would we do this trade? Well, when we sell a naked option, we're going to collect a lot more because we're taking more risk. In this case, you can see we're selling it for 410 times 100 means the most I can make is $410. But wait a second. What comes with that nice looking trade? Look at max loss, 57,490. Now, I want to clarify that this is not really your max loss. All this is telling me is that if this stock were to go to zero, that's how much money I would lose. But of course, the NASDAQ 800 stocks, including the Googles and the Nvidias and the Apples of the world, is never going to go to zero. So this number is not realistic. This is just telling you like max loss because it can go to zero. It can, but it can't. That, of course, the market's not going to zero. So what's the true risk on this trade? And we do that by looking over here at something called buying power effect. So I don't want to get in the weeds as to what this means. Basically, a brokerage looks at a two standard deviation move as the worst case scenario. Now, things can get worse, of course, but this is like on average, this is like your worst case scenario. So when you're talking about naked options, you really want to look at your buying power effect to have a realistic idea of what can happen in a worst case scenario. So again, don't worry about this one. That's not real. This is what you're really at risk for. So I'm risking $7,000 potentially. This is if things go horribly wrong, like when he put the tariffs on and the market collapsed, or we went to war and the market collapsed. When something horrible happens like that, this is the buying power effect they're looking at as your worst case scenario. Again, it can be worse, but this is kind of where it usually caps out. So when you make this trade, essentially we're risking $7,000 to make $410. And again, are we risking that? Not really, but it can happen. So it is actually realistic. So why would we ever do something crazy like this? Why would I risk potentially $7,000 to make $410? Well, that goes over here. That's that POP 90%. There's a 90% chance that this trade is successful. Okay, well, everything in trading is pluses and minuses. It's pros and cons. It's yin and yang. So there's always a equal and opposite reaction. Nothing is for free. If you want high probability, you have to take more risk to make more money. Low probability, lower risk to take lower success. When you're buying options, you're taking a fairly high risk because it's a fixed amount of money, but it's a low probability trade. So you're fixing your losses, but you're not capping your upside. Again, these are all trade-offs. So let's go take a look at this one on the same chart to show you like how good naked options can look when you're playing them. So we're going to look at the 579 put and we're collecting 410. So we'll go back to that trade page. I'll just do it here. The 579 put for 410. And we're going to play the same game. Break even stock price. 574.90. So let's remember that number and we'll go to 574.90. So do this. 574.90. We'll make this one green because this is much prettier. So here's everything in a nutshell. This is trading in a nutshell as to how things move. And there's obviously more strategies than this, but this is the beginning of getting to the high probability trading where people like myself live or the pros live. You don't ever have to get to this level, but this is where you step up your game if you want to get to making more money, higher probability, etc. But again, let's look at this. So when it came to buying calls, things that most new traders do who don't know what they're doing, I have to go above 650, 215 before I start making any money. When I'm selling this put vertical, I'm already ahead of the game because it's below my stock price. So anything above here is profit. Well, look down here. Look how far this goes. Anything above 574.90 on this trade, and I am a winner. And look at this, it's at 634. So we're looking at roughly $60 below the current stock price. And this is why we get into the game of naked options, because our probabilities are much higher. We take more risk, we make more money, we have higher probability. Big again trade-off being much more risk, right? Because things can go horribly wrong and we could lose money if we've all heard the stories. So you have to know what you're doing, but if you know what you're doing, you know how to handle it. Obviously, anybody's going to want to do this trade over the other ones if they know what they're doing and know how to deal with um, undefined risk. Again, you can live your whole life in the verticals department. Nothing wrong with that. But this is where you step up your game if you want to start making more money, higher probability with higher risk. So we'll go back to that page one last time and just show you the difference. Again, this is a 90% trade, and a lot of people don't even know you can do this, right? People don't know that you can pick your probability of profit. You absolutely can. Again, if you watch this while I move the strike the strike price around, you'll see as I get further away, I'm going to go further down, you'll see that this POP goes up. I'm getting further away from the stock price. Of course, my chance of making money is going up. But when I do that, I also make less, right? It was 415. Now I'm only making 348. Same buying power effect. I'm still risking the same amount, but now I'm looking to make less. And why would I do that? Because I just went up to 93% probability of profit. That is the game of naked options. And again, over the next few months, I'll go through various naked option strategies because there's obviously more than one. But I think the importance is showing you this as to why we even bother doing this and why it makes sense once you know what you're doing to kind of get into this game of naked options. So again, the you don't know what you don't know. This is part one of the you don't know what you don't know. Now you know that naked options give you higher probability, higher risk, but higher reward. Verticals give you a defined risk trade with a decent to high probability of profit, but you're capping your wins to minimal amounts. You always cap your wins here too, but it's a much higher number. Remember, when we sell something, the most we can make is what we sell it for. When we buy something, like here, the most we can lose is what we pay for it. And that alone should tell you this that the starting points are better with selling because what do we worry about when we buy something? We worry about what's the most we can lose. What do we worry about when we're selling something? We try and what's the most we can make. So let's get back over here and we'll go here. I'm going to get to your questions at the end, so please hang out. But I'll answer the first one that I get the most, which is how do I start making money right now? Because obviously there's a lot of information here, right? And I know that, and I've spent a lot of time doing this. And even when I simplify it, there's still confidence involved. You have to do it for a while to understand it and kind of know what you're getting into. So how do you start making money right now? And I think this is kind of where most of us are if you're here today, which is where's this? There we go. I feel like this is kind of where you all are. This would be where you want to be, which is learning how to trade, making money, having the confidence, being consistent. But this is a huge gap of knowledge, confidence, experience. So how do we bridge that gap for you? Well, I get back to teaching you the driving the car. And the way I drive the car with actual trading, because one side of what I do is teaching, next step is doing, which is actually trading. So the way I get you to drive the car is to actually have you trade with me alongside me in real time. So I have two things that I do. One is this essential income system. This is an alert. No prior trading experience needed. The alert contains everything you need to know to make a trade. It tells you why I do it, how to set it up, and the parameters around it, as well as how to manage it for the best returns over time. I limit it to 2 to 3 trades per week because I want you to be able to do these. Whether you do them in paper money for a while, or you do them in a real account, I also make them as small as possible. I try not to risk more than like 50 to 100 bucks per trade, so it's accessible to beginners. I also teach you how to adjust them to make them bigger if you want to. But 2 to 3 trades per week is because if you're getting 50 trades a week from somebody, that's worthless. You got to weed through them. You can't make them all. What's the point of that? 2 to 3 trades is manageable by most people. Or like I said, you can watch some, you can do some. I do this in the first hour of the trading day. Again, I teach you the setup, I give you the management, and all this you can do in less than 15 minutes a day. That's the essential income system. Now, for those of you that want to get to this next level of potentially getting to naked options, the higher risk, higher reward, there is some knowledge that comes with learning that first, but I have an academy that covers all that. Now I'm changing that. This also includes the alert system. So you will get the alert with this program. You get all 4 beginner courses that I have on Udemy, which is maybe you've seen them already. I'll show them to you in a second. There's a couple of intermediate courses you still have access to on Udemy, but for the most part, these are no longer available anywhere else but through Sharper Trades. Udemy changed things around, didn't work out. I took them all down. So if you want to have access to them moving forward, you can only do it through the Academy. So just to show you what that includes, these are courses I have up on Udemy already. You may have seen them. This is a 3-part series that gets you from ground zero to trading verticals and iron condors. These are my live trades every week. The intermediate courses, these two are up there on Udemy as well. After that, from now forward, you can only get these through the Academy. This is covered calls, which is if you have shares and you're trying to maybe earn residual income off your shares without selling them, then covered calls is the way to go. This is trading earnings, which is a high risk, high reward trading, which is a 1 day trade. So you want to learn to do just like a daily quick trade, make it or lose it kind of thing. And then this is where it gets really into the weeds as far as naked options, what I've kind of introduced you to today. What I've introduced you today is the beginning, which is the naked put. I also teach strangles and straddles. Don't worry about the names. Again, these are all strategies that I will, the next few months, kind of introduce you to. Ratio spreads, which is where the pros really live. And then something called rolling, which is a big part of naked options. You need to know how to handle when things go against you. Rolling, this course is hugely important in learning how to trade naked options and advanced strategies. And again, these are only available now through the Academy. I also have this 1 day options crash course that I do a few times a year, usually $300 by itself. This is a 5 to 6 hour course that I recorded a few months back when I did it. Put it up there as well, so you have access to this as well. So normally, the alert system by itself is $49 a month, and the Academy is only $99 a month. That includes all the material I just showed you, along with the alert. But again, because you showed up today, like the Shark Tank billionaire mentioned, I'm doing this discount for the last time. I've done this in the past, but again, just like I mentioned, everything has gotten more expensive. I can't afford to do this anymore, but I wanted to do it one last time before I took it off the market. So if you join now, you'll get 75% off either one of these if you use these coupon codes when you go to the website. So if I show you what that looks like, basically you'll go to Sharper Trades, you'll click on products, this page pops up. Here's the Essential System and the Pro Trader. If you get to either one of those pages, for the payment page, if you type in system on the Essential System, you'll see it's $49 a month. But if you type that in, you'll get it for only $12.25 a month, 75% off for life. And same with the Academy. If you type in the Academy there, hit apply, you'll see you get that for $24.75 per for life. And good thing with these is these are completely risk-free because this is month to month. You can cancel anytime you like. So if you want to take advantage of this last time I'm doing this, now is the time. You can see here, it says only 10 left, and that's because we limit it here. There are only 10 coupons available for each one, for the Alert or the Academy, and they're going to expire in 5 days. So if you're looking to do this at all, now is your time because there will not be another one. I will never do this again because I can't afford to. I always like to put this up here because it's again kind of like my mentality when I teach things, when I provide my courses and services. This is my goal for you. There's a famous Chinese proverb, we've probably all heard of it, which says, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. I am trying to teach you to fish. I don't expect you to be part of these systems and services forever. I want you to get to a point in life where you can do it by yourself. But it's hard to learn by yourself. Courses are one thing, doing is totally different. And that's why I provide these alert services in the academy so you can learn it and do it alongside with me. So again, I'm going to attach the coupons here. If you watch this later, when I post it for a few days on YouTube, I'll put the links there as well for the discounts. But this is it. These are for 5 more days. There's only 10 available for each. I highly, oops, what happened there? I highly recommend if you're going to do it, this is your time because there won't be another one. So I'm going to just add the alerts codes in here so you can download this PDF and click right on there. Or like as you saw, you can go right to Sharper Trades and type in these coupons and you'll get the same discount until they run out. There's 10 of each right now. All right. All that being said, let me get over here and see if you have any questions. I'm done with all that, but I'm absolutely happy to answer any questions you have. Anybody that's looking to learn, that's why I'm here. I really want all of you to get there. This is the only ways I've come up with to get there, courses and services to get you actually doing these things. So I'll hang out as long as you want me to. Anybody have any questions? Please type them in. Happy to answer. Dylan, if I'm pronouncing that correct, thank you very much. I never get tired of hearing, that people are enjoying my courses. I made them for a reason because I wanted to take the fear out of trading. This isn't rocket science. People make it out to be so complicated. It's just like anything else in life is when you first look at it, it looks hard, but we all use Microsoft Word now and Excel. Once you learn them, they're easy to use. Once you learn how to trade, it's a skill you can use for the rest of your life. You never forget it. It's like riding a bike. You'll always know how to do it. So whether you use it now, whether you use it later, it's a skill worth learning because, again, it is not rocket science. Once you start doing it, you'll see, hey, this is totally doable. To Mitesh, these are all options trades. I don't trade stocks at all. Everything I teach is about options trading. All these instructional videos are available on Sharper Trade site. No, they're only available through my academy. I don't have them anymore. I do have 5 courses up on Udemy. So those 3 I showed you, the 1, 2, 3, the understand, basic, and make and manage. Um, which one is good for trading options? They're all good. So I would always start with understanding options, basic stock option strategies, and make and manage. That should be where anybody starts because that'll get you from absolute ground zero to learning to trade those verticals that I mentioned and also something called an iron condor. After that, if you want to get into what we just shown you here is like, the you don't know what you don't know as far as naked options. Those are now only available at Sharper Trades through the Academy. I've taken them down everywhere else on the internet. So if you want to have access to them, now you can do it. So let me go back here and see if I missed anything. I don't do butterflies, Joel. No, I have never made a course in that because I don't trade them myself. I only have created courses for the things and the strategies I use. Butterflies are not something I use. Totally valid strategy, just not something I use. Which one is a good tool for trading options? The 2 platforms I just showed you here are Tasty Trade and Schwab's Think or Swim, otherwise called TOS. You can use any system you like. These are just the 2 I've grown up using, and they have all the tools I need as far as things called like IV rank, et cetera, et cetera. But you don't have to use these. It's just the ones I use. I think they're the best visual kind of ones to look at, and I've just grown up using them, so it's the best ones for me. Can you show a trade you send look like? Yeah, I'll do that. If I upgrade the Trojan cancel, yeah, Nanditha, yes, please. You can't just transfer over, so cancel the essential if you want to do the pro. Cancel that one first, and then sign up for the essential. At the end of the month, the essential will drop off, and the pro will be. You'll get access to that right away as soon as you sign up moving forwards, and it'll just continue from there on. But yeah, please cancel the old one before you do the new one. Um, so what a trade looks like, I'll do this in a paper trade so I can do it and you can actually see it work. So I don't know, I can't read your Hebrew name, but is there a specific trade like a vertical, a call, or a naked option you want me to do? Moshe. Moshe, is there any one of those you want me to do in particular, or you want to see all 3 of them done? There was the buying the call, selling the vertical, or selling the naked options. Which one of those did you want to see? or if you want to see all of them, I'll do them all, but let me know. Wait for Moshe to type this one in. Oh, you're talking about the alert. Um, yeah, let me, I sent out one today. Um, well, that's my personal email. Actually, you know what? Moshe, if you go to the website, everything is there. You'll actually see an example of it there. I don't have one easily accessible, and I don't want to bore people here trying to pull it up, but all the information's on the website. If you don't find what you like there, just email me directly and I'll send you whatever you need to see. But there should be an example of the alerts up there and all the specifics about it. So 34 cents, remember you're only locking up 66. It's just the width of the strikes, Keyshore. So if I'm collecting 34, I'm only risking 66. That's all I'm locking up as far as buying power. So let's go, I'll show you. So if I do the vertical, we'll go back to the short call vertical, and it depends on your system. So everybody's platform, I mean, broker handles it differently. If you look here, this is at 39. Let's just say this is, we'll go back to 34. So remember, buying power effect is what the brokerage is actually charging you as far as what he's taking out of your account. So you can see that's only, well, that didn't update, but that's only because max loss, it's going to be your buying power effect. So does that answer your question, Kishore? Pleasure, Mike. Pleasure, Moshe. Yeah, again, Kishore, platforms are all different, so they might not show all this stuff, and they may handle it differently. Sometimes brokers use the whole width of the strikes as your buying power. So the worst case scenario would be that they use $100. Width of the strikes, $1 is your buying power effect, but it'll never be more than the width of the strikes. Usually they just use the max loss, but again, every broker handles it differently. So you'd have to find out from your broker exactly how it works. But again, much smaller amounts. So it's not as much as you think. Mike, they're sent either what I generally do is either I do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday or a Tuesday, Thursday, depending on how the market works. So I usually do them every other day. So it's like you do a trade. I never do them back to back because I don't want people pressured into doing trades that quickly. So again, it's either Monday, Wednesday, Friday or a Tuesday, Thursday. Kind of depends on the market. If something crazy happens, I might skip, the Monday and then do Tuesday, Thursday. That's generally how I do it. Moshe, no, I do not handle platforms at all. They are all different. I stay out of that. What I always like to tell people is when you're at a brokerage, you're paying them to teach you how to use it. So don't be scared to ask them. What you want to do is whatever questions you have about setting it up, they're generally pretty good about helping you out because when they help you out, that means you trade and that means you make them money. So always contact your broker if you want any help with your platforms. Alerts are sent via email or through the app we use, which is called Remind. So if you download the app on your phone, it'll come to your phone, or you can send it to your email, or you can do both. The coupon codes again are should be attached there. I'll do it one more time just so you have it closer. So if you download this, um, Tony, if you download that PDF, the links are there, or the words are system or academy for either one. So if you type in the word system for the essential system, you type in the word academy for academy, that'll get you the discount. Mike, thank you so much. Again, I never get tired of hearing this. You make these things in a vacuum, so when I see people and it helps them and they enjoy the courses, I really get a kick out of that. So I appreciate your words there. Never get tired of hearing that. No, Nanditha, I'll keep you on the Remind apps. You don't have to sign up again. All that'll happen is the Essential will drop off and you'll just stay with uninterrupted service. So you should be totally fine. If anything happens with that, let me know. Sometimes the 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 website we use, Teachable, kind of gets messed up. If you have any problem with anything, just email us and we'll make sure to take care of it. But you should be fine. You won't have any uninterrupted service. Prior enrollment will hold. I'll keep you on the list. You'll just roll over into Pro moving forward. You have access to it right away. Essential, as long as you cancel it, should drop off at the end of the month. Can't do annualized return that quickly here, Keyshore. You can work that one out on your own. 34 cents if you kept it all on a $100 trade to be a 34% return though, if you kept it all. Because you're making $34, risking at the most $100 in buying power. If it's only if it's only giving you $66 in buying power, then that's a 50% return on your money. That's the quick and easy math. Yeah, Moshe, it's all about the courses. So the essential is just the alert. You trade alongside me. The pro is the alert as well as all the courses I've ever made, mainly the advanced, intermediate, and advanced courses. You have access to. If you want to get into the game of this kind of naked options, that's where you get it. Pleasure, Keyshore. Thank you for joining me. Melvin, yeah, the whole point, I don't know where you are in trading. Three courses on Udemy is where I like to steer people to get started with because that's going to help you understand the alerts. If you haven't at least taken one or two of those, options are going to be kind of like Chinese to you, but you can absolutely follow along with the alerts. I give you the reasoning behind the trades. It just might not make sense if you don't know anything about options. You can also just join the pro and take all the courses there. But yeah, either one of these will work. Okay, great. So take those three courses. Um, and they're all not more than like an hour and a half or so. So you if you want to take advantage of this deal now and sign up for the alert, go for it because you could easily do knock out all those courses in a weekend. You may not understand them all right away, but you can start using the alerts to kind of make sense of it all and then go back and review it over time. So totally up to you, but yeah, you can absolutely get started with all this. Moshe, love to see you there. Hopefully we will, if not now in the future. But again, thanks for joining me today. Anybody else got any questions for me? Happy to answer. Pleasure, Melvin. Thanks for joining. Nimesh, pleasure. Thank you for joining. Yeah, the Proc has every single course I've ever made, along with some of these webinars, along with that 1 day option crash course. So yes, it has every course I've ever made, many of which now will not be available moving forward anywhere else, just because the world has changed and I had to change with it. But yeah, and again, these are all month to month. So if you're not sure, you know, rather join and take advantage of this discount because it's never going to happen again. You can always cancel if it's not for you. I don't want anybody using my services if they don't feel like they're getting value out of them because that's the whole point. I want you when I give you something for 20 bucks, I want you to get $100 worth of value out of it. So please, if you don't like it, I have no hard feelings if you cancel. It's got to be something that fits, what you want to do. Tony, pleasure. Hope to see you there. Hope to see everybody there. But if not, I always thank you for joining me because it's first step in the right direction for you, but hopefully you get value out of these as well. Your pleasure, Joel. Thank you for joining. Anybody else got any questions for me before we wrap it up? Pleasure, Nanditha. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct. Pleasure, everybody. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. And hopefully we'll get all of you up to where you want to be in life as far as this trading at some point. All right. It looks like that's probably a wrap. So if nobody's got any last second questions, again, if I missed you, feel free to email me at cal@optiontrainingforrookies.com with any questions you forgot or any issues you have or any questions you might have down the line. Otherwise, thank you all so much for being here. I hope to see you all soon. keep trading, keep learning. This is not rocket science. If you really want to learn how to do this, I will help you get there. You can get there. This, again, this isn't rocket science. Anybody can do this if they put their mind to it and they really want to do it. So, thanks everybody. Appreciate your time, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.